Good morning and welcome to this week's Ogmore-by-Sea Coffee Morning. Thanksgiving, the holiday that Americans love, rival to Christmas and a time where families meet together to spend time with loved ones over the course of a week. So today we're going to dive into Thanksgiving and try and understand a little bit more about where it came from and why it is celebrated in the USA. See, Thanksgiving is a national holiday which the Americans believe came from 1621, where a harvest feast shared by English colonists and the Aboriginal people, or the Wapwang people, I think I'm saying that right, shared a holiday feast together in 1621. The meal typically includes turkey, bread, stuffing, potatoes, cranberries, pumpkin pie, all of those fantastic meals for you to enjoy during the Thanksgiving meal. Thanksgiving is also a time of travel. The holiday is often the busiest of the year as family members gather with one another to travel across the country to meet together and spend time together. This year, Thanksgiving will be on November the 26th, which should be an exciting time, especially after the year that we've had this year. Thanksgiving began with a few colonists going out fowling, possibly for turkeys, but more probably for the easier prey of geese and ducks. One day, 90 of the Wapanwag colony made a surprise visit to the settlement's gate. This made the colonists quite nervous, but the two groups socialized without any incident. The Wapanwag contributed venison to the feast, which included the fowl and probably fish, eels, shellfish, and other vegetables. Since the colonists had few buildings and manufactured goods, most people ate outside while sitting on the ground or on barrels with plates on their legs. The men probably fired guns, ran races, drank liqueur, and had a great time. And due to the language issues between broken English and the Wapanwag tongue, they managed to spend time together quite disorderly. And also they signed a treaty between the two groups to stop from any wars happening in the future. This treaty continued all the way up until 1675 to 76 during King Philip's wars at the time. Unfortunately, hundreds of colonists and thousands of Native Americans lost their lives. The New England colonists were accustomed to regularly celebrating Thanksgivings from back home as days of prayer, thanking God for blessings such as military victories or the end of droughts. The US Continental Congress proclaimed a national Thanksgiving upon the enactment of the Constitution. And for example, yet in 1796, the new US Congress left Thanksgiving declarations to the different states. After some objected to the new national government's involvement in a religious observance, which is where Thanksgiving originally came from. It was a religious celebration of thankfulness. Southerners in the US were slow to adapt a New England custom, and others took offense over the days being used to hold partisan speeches for government and political gain. A national Thanksgiving Day seemed more like a lightning rod for controversy rather than a unifying force. Shame, as obviously as that was what the Thanksgiving was set up as a unifying time, that had to be the case. The Thanksgiving Day did not become an official holiday until Northerners dominated the federal government. Whilst sectional tensions prevailed in the mid-19th century, the editor of the popular magazine Godley's Lady Book, Sarah Josephiah Hale, campaigned for a national Thanksgiving Day to promote unity. She finally won the support of President Abraham Lincoln on October the 3rd, 1863, during the Civil War. Lincoln proclaimed a national day of Thanksgiving to be celebrated on Thursday, November the 26th. The holiday was annually proclaimed by every president thereafter, and the date chosen, with few exceptions, was always the last Thursday in November. President Franklin D. Roosevelt, however, attempted to extend the Christmas shopping season, which generally begins with the Thanksgiving holiday, but to boost the economy and help support the country by moving the date back a week to the third week in November, but not all states complied, and after a joint resolution of Congress in 1941, Roosevelt issued a proclamation in 1942 designating the fourth Thursday in November, which is not always the last Thursday, as Thanksgiving Day. As the country became more urban and family members began to live further apart, Thanksgiving became a time to gather together. The holiday moved away from its religious roots to allow immigrants of every background to participate in a common tradition. Thanksgiving Day football games, American football games, beginning with Yale versus Princeton in 1876, enabled fans to add some rowdiness to the holiday, and in the late 1800s, parades of costumed revelers became common. In 1920, Gimbel's department store in Philadelphia staged a parade of about 50 people with Santa Claus at the very rear of the procession. And since 1924, the annual Macy's Day Parade on Thanksgiving in New York City has continued that tradition, with huge balloons since 1927. The holiday associated with pilgrims and Native Americans has come to symbolize intercultural peace, America's opportunity for newcomers, and the sanctity of home and family. Amazing. This Thanksgiving story and how it came about to be such a big holiday over there in America. And as Brits, we don't celebrate it. But in our family, we do, with my wife, Caitlin, being from America. Thanksgiving is a great, great time to really think about everything that God has done over the past year. And maybe it could be a time for us today to think and dwell on the year 2020, the year that we've had. How can we be thankful, despite everything that's happened, for all the good that God has given us? So thank you for joining us for this week's Coffee Morning. Take care, God bless, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye-bye.